So here are the details for anybody that didn't hear it last night. The Thunder have traded Russell Westbrook, all right, and in exchange, so Russell Westbrook goes over to Houston. Houston then sends Chris Paul, first-round picks in 2024 and 26, and pick swaps, the new rage and all across the NBA, in 21 and 25, all over to Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City, who just got a bunch of draft picks for Paul George, now get more draft picks as they send Russell Westbrook over. And, as you mentioned, fit, that's what the conversation immediately at 10 o'clock last night blew up for everybody. How is it going to fit with Russell Westbrook and James Harden? Remember, they played together in Oklahoma City before James Harden became a Rocket. So they have experience together, but that was a different version of James Harden. That was a sixth man type James Harden. That was not an MVP candidate James Harden. So now the question becomes fit. And I'll always go back to a few weeks ago on this show when we were talking I think it was Bobby Marks at the time when we said, how is Daryl Morey going to find anyone that can fit with these superstars? And the immediate answer was Daryl Morey doesn't care about fit. That's a coach's job. We got a reminder of that last night.
And you know what? Fit is a conversation, but fit was also a conversation when they brought Chris Paul over. That was a redundant skill set that ultimately netted them a trip to the Western Conference Finals where they pushed the Warriors to the brink of elimination. Like, that was where that team got with a redundant skill set and a redundant fit there. And we said this year that the only shame of it was sort of like Team USA playing France in the Women's World Cup, that matchup with Golden State and Houston happened when it did, because if it weren't for that, a lot of us probably would have picked them over Portland to get to the Western Conference Finals and play Golden State had the bracket shook out that way. So it's not like they haven't made a skill set that appeared redundant on paper work better than we all expected to begin with.
Well, yes, and I don't disagree with you that obviously Russell Westbrook's a better player and he's a younger player. So this is an upgrade in that sense. I though would still question whether or not we should really be doing cartwheels for this. Going into yesterday, you could make the argument the Clippers were the best team in the West. The Lakers, let's just say, if we're looking at their main core, the Clippers and the Lakers were standing 1-2 in the eyes of many. The Rockets were probably standing around 3. That didn't change for me. I mean, I'm not suddenly going to put Russell Westbrook coming to the Rockets doesn't suddenly make them better as a tandem than Anthony Davis and LeBron James, or better as a tandem than Kawhi and Paul George. So to me, they're still the third best. I mean, they went from being, a third best. Maybe they narrowed that gap a little bit. They got a little younger, but they're, to me, it's not some epic move that changes their championship.
So they got younger, and it right now changed their timeline. Now, again, we can kind of throw timelines out the window because this is the NBA, but on paper, theirs lasts a little bit longer than everybody else's. LeBron is getting older. We know that Kawhi Leonard just signed that 2-1 with the Clippers. Him and Paul George are on that same trajectory there. With Golden State, it's all an injury question. Like, the duo that we talk about with them in Clay and Steph Curry won't be around for another year. That would be a better duo right now, if healthy, than these two. So you look at all those things and you say, you know what? At least relative to their situation, Houston did the only thing they had left at this point. We had heard they wanted to, or we at least surmised they had wanted to go after Jimmy Butler and failed in that earlier this offseason. We know Daryl Morey wanted to do something, and so they created options. They created some sort of new opportunity in this, and that was all they could do.